Welcome to Sports Jazz. My name is Isaac. I have Josh with me. I have David with me. And today we are speaking football. And when I say football, I mean strictly Liverpool. Liverpool fans have been whining, crying, why we're not in the comment section, why we don't, or why we barely speak about Liverpool. But today we are dedicating the whole show to Liverpool. And we are going to have a deep insight about the club, what's happening inside the club with Klopp gone. Is Anslot the right manager? What is the program, or what is FSB doing about the transfers? Well, once again, please do subscribe to Sports Jazz, like and share our videos, and yeah, setting it off. Sorry, setting it off again. Liverpool's post Jurgen Klopp era. Guys, I'm going to start with David. David, please, in 2 minutes. Today, I'm giving you 2 minutes to explain fully what's the current set at Anfield with Anslot as the new manager, and how prepared are they for the new season? Because I see they haven't signed anyone at all. And was it the day before yesterday? He did say their team is well. They have the right players. He trusts the players. In other words, they don't need to make any signings, but again, they cannot rule out having signings. Please tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, I think it's both a good and a bad thing if you're a manager to walk into someone like Jurgen Klopp's work. So what happens is Jurgen Klopp, it feels like at the point he left, he didn't leave because there was any kind of difficulty or disagreement. It seems like he left because of the pressure. It was a very taxing job, but you can see that he was already starting to assemble a new team to start a new cycle, and he had made several acquisitions with those new players that came in, the likes of Gapco and those other young kids that came in at that time, right? The Endos, those are very, very good players, and you had started to see that even though he was starting to rebuild, still Liverpool was a threat. I still feel like it's a threat, even if everyone is ignoring it. So it feels like so. Recently, I was doing some digging and I discovered the technical director. He's called Richard Hughes at Liverpool. He said something like, July, they expect nothing. Possibly that's down to Anslot not having had enough time with the squad, right? They need to observe and see what he finds and whether he discovers any issues that need to be addressed and whether they cannot be addressed in the transfer window. So then he also said something about we'll need more time in August to see whether we can identify anything. So for me, the tone I'm getting is
that is not a serious manager.
The tone I'm getting is they feel like they're okay. They're looking for opportunities, not necessarily to address any specific crisis. They're looking for opportunities because when you look at the people they have approached, those are clubs that are already struggling with FFP, right? Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's like they're just looking for, can these guys drop this player on account of the issues they have? They've gone to Cole Palmer. Is it Cole Palmer in Chelsea?
In Chelsea, so correct.
And we know that Chelsea is also under that pressure of FFP. So that also looks like more of, can we have that opportunity? But it doesn't really look like they have a need, like a serious need. So maybe we can look to August and see whether they come up with anything. I'm genuinely concerned about what's happening at Liverpool. Those guys are not stupid. I know that they're building something. Anslot is continuing. I think that hire of Anslot was meant to continue with the momentum that Jurgen Klopp had built. That's what it feels. That's what the status feels right now.
Josh, do you think rather Anslot is going to pull it off? Is he ready to be a well-respected manager? Because to me, I think, of course, I know he came from Feyenoord, but I don't think he fits the shoes. I don't think he fits Klopp's shoes. Because I mean, run it back to when Sir Alex Ferguson left and United had David Moyes coming in. It was a disaster. I know some people would argue that he needed some time, but I don't think he was, even with enough time, even with the money, because he was in his first season, he was asked to do signings and he said, no, I'm okay. I think he did sign only Fellaini. So it's the same thing right now. Anslot said he's fine. He trusts the players. The players are very fine. He's going to work with them. The quality is there, and he doesn't think he needs any players. Although they are not rolling out signing any players. And as David said, they have to wait until August. And I'm thinking a club like Liverpool, they have scouts. By the time a new manager comes in, of course, they're supposed to recommend, we've been doing this, we've been studying this one. They give him the paper, they give him the names, they tell him these are the players, attributes are these ones, weakness is this, strengths is this, who do we get? But for him to say they have to wait until August, what do you think, Josh?
Well, for me, I think that is okay for them to wait up to August, because until I learned what Liverpool is about, I did not know why in whole of Europe they're the only club that have not signed a player. Everyone has signed a player. They are the only ones who have not signed a player.
I know.
But
It's weird.
every time they sign a player, that player turns out to almost be the right player. Yeah. Now, what you must know is Liverpool has strategically harnessed the power of data analytics in football.
Mm.
I mean, they have an astute way of using data informed recruitment to
Okay.
allow them to compete with the likes of Man City, Man United, Chelsea. They had to be innovative. There's a guy called Dr. Ian Graham. He leads the analysis team at Liverpool, and is a researcher. He made a groundbreaking mathematical model that has helped Liverpool to be able to compete at that level. Because remember, they don't have the resources that other
Josh.
clubs do have. But I'm telling you the truth, as in his model advanced uh, the analytical studies of performances of players beyond the stats that we see. You know, this one scored a goal, this one scored a goal. For instance, when he bought Sadio Mane at the time, the decision to buy Sadio Mane, the analytical study Liverpool had done for the profile of player they needed at the time is the one that led them to buy a player like Sadio Mane. Because Sadio Mane was coming to fit into Jurgen Klopp's style of football, Jurgen Klopp needed a player who can score goals, yes, cutting in from the wings, but also a player who can disrupt the defensive alignment of a team. And in Sadio Mane, he got the player. With Salah, the same thing was applied. So when I got to learn about their analytical study and how they buy and sell players using it, then I'm actually confident that Liverpool will make one or two good signings. Because at the time, when the time comes, they will look at the profile of player that they need to be in their side, and that player will slot in easily. Because at the time they will just pick the profile, look around, and say that this is the type of player Anslot needs for his team to work.
Okay.
Majorly, they recruited Anslot because they wanted continuity. They did not want to disrupt anything. You see,
it looks like continuity.
They want to keep the excitement of Jurgen Klopp. They want to, so they're not in a rush, because Anslot as a manager himself is very astute as a tactically. Yes,
Josh, sorry to cut you off. Is it safe to say that FSB is worried and does not fully have faith in Anslot? Because you see, in May, they did appoint, after the season has ended, they did appoint exporting director Michael Edwards as the new company's chief executive football. You know, and he comes, and you know, it was okay, it was in the news, but it wasn't really made public. In other words, they're trying to recruit people just to go down in like In other words, like to prepare for the worst. Should I say that? It's like they fully don't have faith in Klopp because, sorry, in Ancelotti, because with Klopp, that wasn't necessary. And Klopp, by the way, when he was still the manager, hold up, Josh. Sometimes they would even buy for players, or rather, they would pay and buy for players before the season ends. We saw that with is it Naby Keita?
Yeah,
I think they bought him before the season ended, although he was supposed to stay where he was in Leipzig. There was also another player they did buy before the season ended, and after the transfer window came, or after the transfer window was opened officially, the player joined Liverpool, which is not the case with Ancelotti. So, if I ask, do they does FSB, do they have complete trust in and faith in Ancelotti?
If you look at it this way, Ancelotti has been at the club, but since he came to the club, he's missing about 8 starters. He's not looked at them. He doesn't know. Yes, he knows their profiles. He has seen videos and clips and what, and maybe even watched a game, but he has not had the feel as a manager of those 8 starters yet, because some are still on holiday and things like that. Maybe he wants to have a full squad before making a decision on any players. But like I've just told you, the data analytics at Liverpool, actually they're the best in class in the whole world in football. Even Ancelotti was chosen in that manner to replace Jurgen Klopp. They did not wake up in the morning and say, you know what, who is available in the market? We want this. No. As in, they followed their process. Like, it has helped them buy players and sell players. You can see how Salah turned out. You can see how Mane turned out. You can see how Firmino turned out. It even informed them about the peak of players like Coutinho, and they got about 124 million from him to help them to buy the Van Dijks. And so, I believe that much as they're not loud in the market, they'll make the right decisions when the time comes. They're well prepared.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to add something to what Josh just said. If you remember the negotiations when Klopp was coming into Liverpool, those negotiations were a bit lengthy, and the stumbling block was FSB predicates its sporting model on analytics. And
yes,
Klopp was insisting that he needed to have full control of talent acquisition. And that right there was a serious negotiation that they had to make. But remember, Klopp, the FSB made that exception with Klopp because Klopp came with a reputation, right? They are not, it looks to me like they're not prepared to give that same liberty to Ancelotti.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have complete faith.
And that's why, no, they have faith in him, but they have approached it differently. Like Josh said, even the very appointment of Ancelotti was informed by analysis, right? So when you look at Ancelotti, there's a bit of an angle about Ancelotti. Ancelotti, the season before last, he won the league at Feyenoord. And when he won the league, he wasn't even a manager in the profile of a manager as we know it. He was a trainer, right? He was called a trainer. Feyenoord had
that's what they call manager. That's what they call them in Netherlands. A manager is called a trainer because you're actually on the grass.
Yeah, but on top of that, this was a unique situation because the general manager at Feyenoord had a bit of a bigger responsibility for acquisition. When you look at the season when he won the league, he only made two signings, and they were minus. When you look at the investment they made, it was only 8 million shillings. I mean, 8 million pounds or 8 million euros. There were actually two. The second was 7 million euros. That was Quinton Timber, Jurgen Timber's twin brother, right? So essentially, the guy did not even participate heavily in that part. So Liverpool makes this appointment deliberately, knowing that we are getting a guy from a football environment that will build the football we want, but we still want control of talent acquisition because they trust their analysis. Their analysis has given them gold. Yes.
True.
Okay. Thank you very much for the insight. Well, you have me, although I'm not yet still very convinced. And moving on still on Liverpool, I see Ancelotti said they would try to make signings next month, which is a day from now, up to August. But I personally, I think Liverpool lacks something in the final third. I mean, their end product, rather like players like Darwin Nunes, his end product. I'm not disputing that he's a bad player, but his end product is a bit lacking. And actually, with me, if Jota would be fully fit, because he only plays like 5 to 7 games and he gets injured. He's injury prone. If he was fully fit, I'd put him ahead, or I would play him ahead of Nunes. So, but still, he's not that complete player that is going to give you 20 goals plus. Okay, because we've had Firmino left, Mane left. Salah is not at the peak anymore. He's instead declining. And I don't think he's a player that is going to give you 25 goals plus. Honestly, I do not think he's going to give you those kind of goals. So why are they not going in for a striker right now? Why are they not going in for a poacher who's going to help them get goals? Davi.
I caught something that I wanted to disagree with a bit, but also agree with it on some level. So let's first talk about Darwin Nunes. I feel like Darwin Nunes reminds me of Kai Havertz at Arsenal, right? He's not your favorite player primarily because he simply lacks finesse. He's not the most smooth player you look at. But when you look at the statistics, the guy actually performed. And he performed. There was a point at Liverpool when it constantly felt like he was dragging the team, right? So I think we need to give him more time. But also, when you look at Salah at 31, he can no longer play. I want to loosely call it the gegenpress style. It's not what I expect from Ancelotti, but he can't play that high action game that they used to play with Liverpool. Although good enough, Ancelotti is not preparing to play that. Even if we're talking of continuity, certain elements from the style are going to drop. We're not going to see a lot of the typical gegenpressing, but this man comes from Dutch football. There's going to be deliberate progression of the game. So when that style comes in, people like Salah who are aging will not be, it will not have so many physical demands on Salah despite his age. And by the way, 31 is not exactly old. When you watch the last game they played and some of the training sessions, Salah still looks like the sharpest player among the bunch. So I'm not dismissing Liverpool on that angle.
Okay, thank you very much, Josh. Josh, before you come in, Josh, try to your camera. Try to, if you could please rotate. Yeah, Guitar, welcome. We see you very well. Thank you for Guitar. I'm speaking to Josh, and you're doing what Josh is supposed to do. Josh, yeah, Josh, please try to, because you're the one that is supposed to be speaking. So we need you full, or rather, we need you. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Very good. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much. So yeah, Josh, Guitar, once again, we welcome you. But before you come in, Guitar, Josh, again, don't you think that Liverpool needs to sign strikers? As I've said, Darwin Nunes is not. He's a good player, but he's not that. He's not going to give you. He's missing that good end product. And even if you're to bring on Diaz is also a fantastic player, but still something is missing. Something is missing. And we know that Ancelotti is so good with playing and using, according to his formation, he likes using the false nine. I don't see any of those players doing that. Don't you think they really need a striker?
I still think that Mohamed Salah is the sharpest player at Liverpool, or among the sharpest player even in the league. And Ancelotti might just give a new lease of life to Mohamed Salah, because in Ancelotti's approach, he does not really play with wing forwards. Yeah, when the wing forwards are there, he just wants you to hug the line, but he creates a hot zone on the pitch just in front of the box of the opponent. And that's where there are about 6 players attacking. So he might just want Mo Salah to stop hugging the line and be among those players in the hot zone. And with the skill set that Mo Salah has, that is quite exciting to see if it does happen.
And you still think Mo Salah is going to get you 25 goals plus?
Yes, definitely.
This
20
season?
plus at least. Yes, he can.
Double figures,
Okay.
definitely. I expect
Yeah,
double
double figures, definitely.
Yeah, Guitar, welcoming you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, well, today we're speaking about Liverpool. And yeah, as you had me pose the question to Josh, don't you think Liverpool needs to make a signing, and one of those positions that they really need to sign or get urgently is the striker? Because I mean, see, Guitar, wait. Try to compare numbers of Nunez, Jota, and who? Diaz combined. They are not going to get you the figures
There's
that.
Gapco as well.
Okay, there's Gapco, but he's good.
Yes.
See,
How do
the
you
Dutch
guys?
is also good. The Dutch is good from coming and cutting inside, but I still don't think they are going to get you those numbers that you need for striker to get you. Don't you need? They need to sign someone.
It's a yes and no. You see, of course, every team would always want to sign new players and have everyone come in anytime and have 3 or even 4 players in any position. But I came in when Davi was talking about Nunes, and the little I heard, I could almost agree with him. For me, I do not know. Maybe it has been the pressure. I don't know, but I really am a huge fan of Darwin Nunes. Despite
He
his
misses a lot.
Give him time. You see, let me tell you.
He had a full season.
Just hold on.
But he hates Rashford.
If you guys remember, David, do you remember when Henry had just come into the Premier League? So I'll never forget how the English press had actually written him off. They were talking
because he was not scoring.
Yes, he wasn't scoring, and if it wasn't for Arsene Wenger sticking to and having that belief, having known this young man from, is it Monaco, he knew that this boy will deliver, and indeed delivered, almost making him one of the best players that have ever played in the Premier League. So for me, I feel like if you've seen Nunes when he's playing for Uruguay in South America, he's been lethal in terms of he may not give even the goals, but his impact on the game will be felt, and perhaps other players will score. So for me, I still think perhaps the slot will bring in something that maybe Klopp had failed to bring in, you know. So with Salah around, they always have goals coming in from almost everywhere. There's Salah, there's Gapco, there's Diego Jota, and you see there's even the Argentine. It slips my, the midfielder, the Argentine from Brighton. McAllister. All these kids.
And Szoboszlai is also a scorer.
Is also a scorer.
By the way, yeah, he is.
Let me tell you something. The way teams are playing, yes, I know we all want this classical, this typical number 9 who's going to be within the box, but teams have different systems that they use, and they can still get goals. I'll tell you, for example, last season, Arsenal did not have, you know, what you might call a goal-scoring player. Like, this is one player who's going to give us all our goals. But they were scoring a number of goals. Yes, as much as they were conceding less goals at the back, but they were equally scoring a number of goals. So for me, I don't want to take the approach of we just need a goal scorer who's going to give us 20, 30 goals a season. It depends on the system they are using. I just believe, I just think they may need some, you know, replacements for players like Alexander Arnold. I don't, you know, that for me, that
even Robertson.
Robertson,
they need competition.
Yes, they need competition.
What's wrong with Arnold?
There's nothing wrong with Arnold, but you saw last season after the injury, you know, they were struggling. They kept on rotating. They would sometimes put Gomez there. the kind of system they're playing. I'm yet to see what Slot will
his favorite. His favorite manager who resigned recently from the England's position also didn't trust him enough to put him as.
No.
No, listen.
Okay. He had to play him as a midfielder. Okay, Guitar, please continue.
Josh, you'll get Josh riled up when you start talking about Gary Southgate. But the thing is, what they were trying to. Klopp had also wanted to try that whole inverted left back coming into the midfield, and it wasn't working. I don't think Trent can do that kind of job. But do you guys remember when Gareth Bale was a left back and also Sterling? And then when Gareth Bale moved to Tottenham, was it? No. Yeah, there's a second season following. He came as a left back in Tottenham, and then the second season that followed, I don't remember the coach, but he moved him as a wing, a wide forward, and he really delivered. That's when Real Madrid came for him. The same happened to Sterling, and then all of a sudden he flourished now. So for me, I think we may also see Alexander Trent being moved into a different position. And then that position could be replaced. That would be, I think, for me, the ideal signing.
Okay, thank you very much, Guitar. Once again,
I'm one of those people who grieves whenever something is said about Arnold. I just grieve. I love that player.
David, I also do love the player. I equally love the player, but as a right back, as in don't disorganize the boys' football. Find a way to play him as a fullback.
For me, I can still move him. I think I can still move him. He's good at going forward. He's good going forward, but I can
Southgate had to resign after that. And Southgate attempted to resign.
Guitar and Josh, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mohamed Salah, who's in his last year. I think he did renew his contract for 2 more years from 2022 to 2024. With him signing, he signed a 3-year deal, 54.6 million US dollars contract, including an average annual salary of 18.2 million US dollars. And so, okay, guys, don't you think it's time for Salah to leave? I mean, would you agree if a bid came in right now? Okay, there were rumors that the Saudis wanted him, but Liverpool told them no, he's not for sale. Don't you think if any team, Saudi coming from the Saudis or anywhere, came with the right bid for Salah, don't you think he should be rather they should take the money? Or in other words, do you think they should renew his contract? Because even up to now, they're still trying and fighting to renew his contract. Guitar, in a minute, do you think they should renew? And if someone comes with the right bid, should they sell?
If I was a Liverpool fan, I would definitely want it to be renewed. Why fix something that is not broken? Mohamed Salah is always going to deliver with the kind of system that Liverpool uses. He's going to deliver. I mean, Manchester United had players like Ryan Giggs play all the way to 38. Perhaps he can even become a Liverpool legend if the contract is renewed. But I also understand that the interest from Saudis are very serious, not just because of the kind of play he has, but that the whole Egyptian and the whole Arab nation kind of thing would resonate well for them in their league. He's actually one of those sought after names that could push even the domestic viewers or fans into the stadium. So for me, I think Liverpool would not be at loss to renew it. It serve him as one of those legendary players, but he will still deliver for you.
Thank you. Josh, what do you think? Money comes in, the right bid. Should they sell or keep? And if it doesn't at the end of the season, should they renew? Because if it's renewing again his contract, regardless of even if it's 1 year or 2 years, the amount of money, the salary that the wages that Salah is going to be given has to be really, really high.
You have to look at this in a business sense. If the money was right for Mohamed Salah, you can let him go. However, it is difficult to let him go because of the changes that have happened at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp, 9 years at the club with the success that he had, it is difficult to make wholesome changes. With Salah remaining at Liverpool, at least they still have a backbone. You know, I know Ancelotti will do whatever he does, and other players might chip in here and there, but at least you will know that Mo Salah is there. Like the sporting director said, it is very difficult to buy players early on, especially when there has been a tournament, when it's a tournament year. That's why he's waiting for August. But remember, he also just got the job on 1st June. So you don't know which player you would get to replace Mo Salah and when. So for me, it is a difficult one, but I think Liverpool keeps him.
Yes, Davi, please, I need your take on that. What do you think?
That's true. Even from still from the perspective of Liverpool, this is their flagship player, right? So for a flagship player, it's not only an economic decision. There's so many factors to consider. And also, while Josh was explaining, I was thinking about the current crop of players who could step into Salah's shoes as the next flagship player for the COP, right? Their development trajectory, is it yet there? Are they ready to step up? It looks like they are not yet, even if we can see that they have that quality. But then, from the perspective of Salah, why would he go to Arabia? The only motivation he has is familiar grounds, the language, the faith. But it wouldn't be the motivation would not be monetary. As the flagship player, as the flagship player at Liverpool, he's attracting a lot of money, not just from his contract, but he's a franchise player, sponsorship deals and all that, even back in Egypt. So for him, the motivation wouldn't be money. So I think he's delaying to renew his contract because he wants to see, let me see what happens with this Ancelotti environment, right? Let me see if I still like it here, because he's comfortable at Liverpool. You can see that he's happy there. The club has made him a world legend, a global football legend, right? Even after he's gone, we shall still talk about Salah as a great Premier League player. So I think it's not a straightforward decision for either of them, for Liverpool and for Salah. But I would love to see him stay. I would love to see him stay for what he means to the league.
Okay, yeah, by the way, still on Liverpool, Liverpool did reject a bid from Marseille. They wanted to get Wataru Endo, 31-year-old Japanese international player. The bid was 14 million euros. I still think they should have taken that money, guys. That's why I'm saying something is not right in Liverpool. So I don't know whether Marseille is going to come back, add more money, but I really think something is not right in Liverpool. I feel like, again, FSB is worried. And like any other fans, I mean, I myself, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I would say all Liverpool fans should brace for impact. Don't you think they rather they could have cashed in and take the money? David,
wonderful player. Endo, I would not let him go at any cost. In fact, the money they were. Yeah, but you see, Asian players are very durable, right? And Endo looks like a durable player. He has that profile of a very durable player.
Young. You might think he's 24, 25.
Yes, the very position he plays preserves him much longer than, say, a Salah, who is constantly battling with tackles and all that, right? But also, the profile of Endo as a player is going to be key to the way Ancelotti likes to play. Ancelotti likes to use a double pivot. Endo is a wonderful player for that situation. He's an all-rounder. He can tackle, he can pass, he can drive, he can carry the ball. He's just the perfect partner in a double pivot. I don't think in their right mind they would let Endo go unless they have like a very, very good player. And they got him at a very good price. Marseille was offering more or less what they used to buy him, what they invested in Endo, but they're not prepared to. I think they made the right decision in that one. I would keep him.
Yes, Geta, what do you think?
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Imagine the thing is, it's not about just losing a player. Think of who you're going to replace such a player with. Are you going to use the same amount of money they are buying your player to get a similar player who's going to give you what Endo would have given you? So that would be a question. And given the current market, I doubt you would get a similar player with the amount of money and someone who will fit right through in, like, hands in a glove. I agree with Davi. He's one of those players. If all goes well in this Ancelot's game, that may actually come to shine. For me, the issue of age is never a factor, especially if the player is always fit. We have seen players like Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo reach 30 plus years, and they are still performing at high levels. So for me, whenever that issue of age is brought up, it's kind of insulting, because some general players tend to peak between 25, especially players that have not really started professional football at a very young age. I remember sometime when I came across an article by when Fabregas was being interviewed, and one of the things he mentioned was, and I started noticing it, players that start at a very young age, 16, 15. You've seen Wayne Rooney, you've seen which other player who started at a young age during that time? They tend to retire
Walcott.
Fabregas himself.
Yes, Fabregas himself. Yes, because that's what he was mentioning in the article. When you start early, you tend to retire way early. Maybe it's the physique or something that with the game. I don't know that sports science and I'm not an authority for me to go in details. But if a player is still fit and is playing very well, there's nothing to do with the age. So for me, I would not sell him. And not to mention, there's Davi mentioned not everything, but there's that other issue that we forget. Clubs do a lot when they are buying a player. They consider so many factors. When United brought, is it Shin Kagawa? He did not perform to the level of, is it Jason Park? But he had got the Asian fans rallied up. So if you get rid of such players, you're also losing out on some of the fans that you bring in when you buy such good players from their own continent and countries. So that is also a factor we normally neglect.
Thank you very much, Gita. Yeah, Josh, please, in 60 seconds or in a minute, do you think they should have accepted the bid, or it was the right move for Liverpool?
It's laughable that they even did the bid. It was only signed last season.
Can't you surprise me for once? Something that I don't expect you to say.
No, they're not. How do they leave that quality of a player? One season in, they let him go. You see what's happening in the window. You're there. to borrow your term, whining that Liverpool is not buying players.
Yeah, the fans keep on writing.
And then again, you let Endo go. No way.
Okay, thank you so much.
But also, aside of his age, Endo is a quality player. I love that kid. I'm sorry to call him a kid, but he's a quality player. He looks like a child. I'm sorry, but he's a quality player. He reminds me of. He's like a refined N'Golo Kante. He's like he can play the ball and going hard for the tackle. He's not like shabby. I just love that player. I don't see how they can sell him.
We haven't gotten an opportunity to see him perform at his full potential.
Guys,
we have, and he failed.
Guys, still on Liverpool.
Kobe Mino was around. He failed.
God, to throw in Kobe
Still on Liverpool, guys. Still on Liverpool. Liverpool has identified PSV's midfielder, the Dutchman Joey Verman, as a potential option for the number 6 position. How good is Joey Verman? And I think that is also a good call if they want to enforce and add players. Me, I agree. midfield, number 6, the striker they do need. I also think Van Dijk is fading. Those are some of the positions that Trent, actually, both fullbacks, they need players in those positions too. So, do you think Joey Verman would be a great add, Josh, to Liverpool?
Yeah, first of all, he's Dutch, so you should know that he has a very good football brain.
It's because you
Uh,
support that. You support that
I
Dutch.
know, but I'm just being honest. And he's a good player. He's a good player. He can play in a double pivot. He can play in a single pivot. He's comfortable on the ball. He can come and collect from the center back. So the keeper, he's good on the half turn. He's a decent keeper. But reports suggested that that rumor Liverpool did not bid for Verman. Neither are they interested in.
Yeah. Okay. David, what do you think about that?
But where would he play? Sorry to interrupt you.
David.
I was just thinking, where would, because I'm looking at Liverpool's midfield, and the profile of midfielders they have are, I feel like the profile of players they have are not vastly different, right? So the approach of those acquisitions in the middle are more of like, I want to use the phrase universal players, right? They can slot in anywhere in midfield, and they're also very, very good players. So I'm thinking, including the crop of kids. I don't know whether they came from the academy, but the younger Liverpool players, it doesn't look like that guy would even have room to step in, unless he's a future investment. The Elliots, the Harvey Elliots. And meanwhile, Harvey Elliott was saying he's enjoying himself. So we're probably going to see him playing more prominently this season. And he's right around that age, right? So where would the Dutchman step in? I don't see how that happens. It's probably just one of those random links, because Ancelot's football history is strictly Dutch. So they'll be linking him to all manner of Dutch players.
Thank you, David. Yeah, Gita, please, in 30 seconds, do you think they need him or they don't need him? Do they need Joey Verman to join?
Well, like I said, for me, additions would never be a minus. If you have the money, the right price, and the player fits the profile. But like David alludes to, where is he going to fit in? My issue is we haven't really appreciated the kind of I don't know. No, hold on. Is Ancelot going to bring the same system he was using in the Dutch league, or is he going to bring something totally different? Because we have seen, like Eric Ten Hag adapt, change the system they're playing. We have seen when Unai Emery came in, he actually first changed the system, then he tried to go back to what he wanted. So sometimes they are forced to change because the Premier League is also a different ball game. You understand? So how does it fit into his kind of play would be the question. And that's why David is thinking, where is he going to come in? And like I said, they have a lot of young players that they want to give an opportunity to flourish. Teams are also going back. I've seen Man City equally giving that opportunity. I've seen United. Perhaps I've not seen much lately from Arsenal, but teams are equally, as much as they want to buy in players, they equally want to give an opportunity to homegrown players. So from the academies and what. So there is no necessity for that. I would honestly believe that maybe I said Alexander Trent Arnold is good, but I would prefer you focus more on the back line. I had rumors of Alisson Becker, being poached here and left. I know he will not go anywhere. So if that is an option, then you're thinking of getting a keeper than trying to think of midfielders where you have already the good numbers.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we've really talked, and it was an open surgery when it came to Liverpool today. I believe we've talked about almost everything. Just real quick, guys, let's in 3-4 minutes, let's ride through the transfer news real quick as I get your opinions for a few seconds. Well, Arsenal still prepared to make or advance talks with Mikel Merino, and it's said that this week talks are going to start with Real Sociedad to see if they can get the player. Then we have
what is the price tag? What's the price tag that Sociedad will perhaps place on Merino?
I haven't seen the price tag, but I don't think it's going to be beyond 35. No, I'm not trying to look down on the player. I'm not okay, maximum 40 mil maximum, but it won't go past that.
40. No 40. I haven't seen that anywhere. It's in the region of between 28 and 35. You're right.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I feel
you
like
don't need him. You don't think you as an Arsenal fan you need him? Say it.
Isaac.
We've
sorry, go on, David.
We've come back to needing a player like that. One of the common scenarios against Arsenal last season was teams packing a mid-block, right? Now that mid-block, remember Arsenal was blazing teams away with our runners. We could no longer run, right? And remember, we had sold off that profile in Xhaka. It looks like we're reverting to it because we're now sure more than ever that teams are going to pack a mid-block or a low block against Arsenal. So in that sense, if that scenario happens, I can totally see Merino thriving in our midfield because he's a positional player. He can just be a passer in the middle there, distributing and holding that ball, which is what we needed even against Conceição's Porto, right? They packed an excellent mid-block. I was starting to get concerned, but I see that we're going to need Merino because of on the evidence of last season's last final string of games. Teams were really, really waiting for Arsenal to see what it does. Teams are not prepared to play against Arsenal, apart from maybe United, which showed that in pre-season and a couple of other games at Man City. But the majority of teams, Everton, teams like that, they're not going to play against us. They're going to.
We are coming. We will come. We will come back for that topic. Guitar. This is for you. I see. Actually, no, Josh. Adegola, Bayer Leverkusen wanted to sign Adegola on loan, but Perez told them, "Don't even think about it. He's part of their big plan this season, and they plan on giving him enough game time." Is it the right move for him to stay, Josh? Off to go the other side? And
it's the right move for him to stay. No, he's too big a talent to ever play on loan. Okay, he goes on loan, he doesn't come back.
Okay,
maybe it might just
but you need to, Isaac. You need to ask Josh, with the current setup of Florentino. Where is he?
Where is he going to play? Thank you. We shall ask him. We shall come back.
I'm not disputing.
Guitar. No, not now. Not now. Guitar, Sevilla and
10 seconds.
Guitar, no, Guitar, we are out of time. Kelechi Iheanacho did agree to join Sevilla. He's a free agent. Do you think that's a good move for him?
Yeah.
He's a free agent. Well, he's a free agent. Why wouldn't he? It's a good move.
No, I mean him going to La Liga and joining Sevilla.
Look. Sevilla. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Good for him.
Okay, guys, let's move on. Strahinja Palovic has joined AC Milan from Salzburg in a deal worth 18 million euros. Then we have news for Victor Lindelof leaving United, want to go away. We have Jack O'Brien, the Irish, has completed his move to Everton at 20 million euros to Lyon. I think that's a good deal. Adrien Rabiot, or Rabiot, as the French prefer to call him, did reject a contract offer from Liverpool, and he still wants to join Josh's club, Manchester United.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's like the Mirror or something.
Josh, it's not a
It must be a certain news reporting.
Fabrizio Romano mentioned it. But listen, just listen to me.
Just doesn't want.
He's part of.
Look, if you have Ugarte,
Josh is not feeling that Kawazi of Rabiot.
No, not at all.
If you get Ugarte.
By the way, Itazi on Ugarte.
No.
Yo,
wait, even if that guy was coming for free.
Josh, on Ugarte, Ugarte still wants to join Manchester United. and a deal looks more possible, but on loan with an option to buy. From what I'm gathering.
Good. But
yeah, I think
let that option to buy not be. Sorry, I hope that option to buy is not 70 million euros.
It is. They are still sticking to that amount, but I think what they are going to do, they are going to structure it.
No, that's a lot of money.
In phases, or they are going to use the Jadon Sancho transfer plus add-ons in phases once that option is being exercised.
Thank you very much.
The deal is being structured. But I do think there will be a sign.
Guys, we're out of time. Emil Smith is set to join a Fulham this week in a deal worth 40 million euros. I think that's a very, very, very good deal. 27.
Yeah.
27.
Fulham paying 40 million for players.
Sorry? Lucky, who pays 40 million? I told you last time.
No,
40 million.
Well, if it were another club, I wouldn't be surprised. But 40 million from Fulham, this is the level that Premier League clubs are going at. For me, it's shocking.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I kept on wondering why Aston Villa had to pay 50 million euros to sign Onana. I still do not understand that.
£1 million.
Clubs have money.
Yeah, but you know, with the tax in
spoiler, the coach needed.
Well, still in the Premier League, West Ham have emerged as a club that are interested in Borussia Dortmund striker Niklas Falkrug. You remember him scoring that stunner in the opening game against Scotland in the Euros. And I think he's a brilliant player.
Fan.
Me too.
He's a typical number 9. A typical. I love him. He's
classic number 9.
Like
I would be a typical fan if he was playing in 1998.
Yeah?
I also have my reservations about pure 9.
Yeah, if he was playing in 98, I would be a fan.
No, I am a huge fan. He reminds me of Adriano. He reminds me of Adriano. And for me, what I like about him is he will give you your 3, 4, 5 touches and he will score 3 or 2 goals. That's
Spurs.
Let me tell you,
guys, please.
We'll come back to that another.
We'll come back to that. Tottenham.
For Nicholas Fulcrum.
Guys, Ginora signed Brian Gill from Tottenham. He did join a few hours ago. Then we see Keylor Navas did sign for as a new keeper and free agent for AC Monza. We all thought news coming in earlier was like it was David De Gea who was going to join. But anyway, before we finish, guys, let me give you this: the highest transfer income of English clubs across the last 10 seasons, with the highest Chelsea with 1.37 billion euros. We have Man City with 1.01.
How many seasons is that?
10.
10 seasons.
Yeah, 10. Chelsea 1.37 billion euros. All the amount is in euros, guys. So 1.37. Then Man City 1.01 billion again euros. Liverpool 697 million. We have Everton 650 million euros. Leicester 601.
But hold on, I've not had United yet.
Kakana, we are coming. Southampton 588.
Spend the most money without winning anything.
Spurs 542, Aston Villa 533, Man United in the 9th position 487M, and West Ham in the 10th position 485M. Highest transfer income English clubs in the last 10 seasons.
Those figures look cooked.
Transfer income sounds like that's the money they have accumulated from selling their own players.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, transfer income. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
In the last 10 seasons. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being. Josh, let's work for the people. Thank you so much Thank you, everyone who has been along with us, all our concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for staying with us. Sports Jazz, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. Isaac, David was in the building, Josh, and Guitar, who later joined us, guys. Peacing out. Sports Jazz once again. Any last few words, Davy? You're winning the EPL. I can speak for you. That's what you're going to say. With I knew we are going to come. I think tomorrow let's do Arsenal. Josh, yeah, in last few words.
Joshua Zirkzee is back at Carrington, and I started streaming.
That's very good. Yeah, Guitar.
The player who makes my skin crawl.
I think it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be very interesting with Aston Villa, with Tottenham, with Manchester United, with Man City, with Liverpool. We are going to see a clash of the top 8.
Well, top 8. That's a good one.
I still
think
Liverpool what's funny? The real last one funny is United can be so bad, but the media will manage to make a top 8, top 10 just to include United. Top 6, top 12,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Cheers. Signing out. Sports Jazz, guys. Please do not forget to subscribe. Hit the like button.
Okay.